Hi, everybody. This is Petol, and this is Facts and 2 Cents podcast. And I am just here, dropped in a little bit to just do a little bit of weekend roundup and all the things that's been happening. There's been actually quite a bit happening, and a little bit happening on our faves as well. You know, they're still on vacay / maternity and paternity leave, so they have been a little bit quiet. But we're gonna get into a little bit of them, and also we're gonna see what's happening on the other side of the pond with the wretched ones in the UK. You know, we have to keep up a little bit with what they're doing as well to give us a little bit of context as to what is happening. So anyway, so again, normally this channel is, you know, again, about our faves, Harry, Meghan, Archie, baby Lily, Mama Doria, Guy Pula, and the chickens. That's our faves. Those are our faves. We are incredibly biased. We are incredibly petty. Don't come at us. We're already telling you who we are. So we are here to uplift them. We are about, you know, uplifting them and their work. So again, that's who we are. Anyways, before we get started, if you are here, you like our content, you have been checking us out for a while, and you like what you see, please give us a subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel, and you can click that little bell right next to it as well, so that way you'll be notified anytime we drop a video. So we are looking to build this channel, so it will really help us out if you subscribe and actually tell your friends about us as well. We'd love, you know, to have your friends or your family members join us. So please help us out, help us build the channel. We're trying to get to 5,000. We are quite a ways away. So normally we have between 3.5 and 5,000 people watching us. So if everybody hit the subscribe button, if you haven't, then we'll be really close. So if you'll take a minute right now, how about I just do a moment of silence? While you click the subscribe button. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, and also to let you know as well, you know, if you're interested in supporting us, again, if you like the content and you'd like to support us, hey, we would love that. You know, no obligation. We do have PayPal. We do have Cash App. You'll find it in the notes, in the show notes. Just click it down and you can do that. You can also get some merchandise. We love our merchandise. We have bags, we have t-shirts, we even have yoga mats, because, you know, Meghan is into yoga, so we figure a yoga mat and towel, of course. You know, we have mugs, we have a bunch of stuff. So those of you who have and who bought stuff, yay! Thank you for your support. So anyway, enough of that. What has been happening this week? Well, yesterday was an important day. Yesterday, Saturday, was September 11th. And, you know, I guess the majority of us, you know, I don't know, we may have much younger listeners as well, but the majority of us, I think, that listen to this or watch this podcast, were here when September 11th happened. And so we've all been impacted by it in some way, shape, or form. And yesterday was the 20th anniversary of September 11th. And, you know, the president was here, and Mrs. Biden and the Obamas were and the Clintons were also here downtown paying their respects as well. On television, there's, you know, all the reliving of it. At this point, I don't think I can watch. I've watched very little of those videos. I mean, I was in New York. I was here when it happened and suffered through the trauma of with my fellow New Yorkers, you know. And one of my biggest memories of that whole day was, and even days later, was, if you know anything about New Yorkers, we're not people that will stop and look up. We're just not that kind of people. I mean, that's what tourists do, you know, especially if you're in Times Square and tourists are looking up and us New Yorkers are like barreling for it, like, you're in the way, get out of the way, we're trying to get to work, stop looking up, we need to look, you know, like, that's kind of how New Yorkers are. We're not a stop and look up kind of people, especially, you know, at least not in New York anyway. But when this happened, it was like anytime you heard a helicopter go by or an airplane over, everybody just stops and looks up. You know, it was just this weird, like, it just stopped everybody. Anytime you hear a sound above, everybody just stop and look up. It was just that weird shock kind of thing. And it happened, you know, you would see that for days and days after. And also being by the hospitals and tons of us at the hospitals looking and in all the names plastered on the hospitals, especially down at St. Vincent. Well, what was St. Vincent? It's now, they broke that down. They took, the hospital is no longer there, but all the names of people would put the names or the pictures of their loved one who were missing in 9/11, hoping that somebody would find them, or hoping. And I remember us all standing there waiting for an ambulance to come by just so we know somebody. And it was just so few ambulance came by, you would come by. And it was just, but also it was also a time when New Yorkers just stopped and talked to each other for no reason other than we just needed each other and needed the comfort. And, you know, and when we'd hear an ambulance or a car, everybody just stopped, and, you know, we all had our flags and all of that stuff. And we really worked to get each other, you know, strong and be there for each other, and just random New Yorkers talking on the street. So if there were any good coming out of that, was those moments when we really banded together as a city, and everyone, whether it's, you know, authorities or government or whatever. And so I appreciated those days, but those were my memories. I know a lot of people have so many other memories, but it was, I'm really proud of us New Yorkers, and just the support from people around the country and around the world. That said, Harry and Meghan actually honored the almost 3,000 people who died on 9/11. They completely transformed their site into a memorial. Then it just said, in memoriam, September 11th, 2001. And then listed all the names, to all 2,996 names of the men and women who died at 9/11. It was just very powerful, just in all Black. It's an all Black site, and it's just white wording. It was so simple, but just so powerful. And yes, that I really appreciated them doing that. Just every single person could find their loved one names on that site. And I'm really grateful that Harry and Meghan took the time to remember. So yeah. And along with that, we have Prince Harry's birthday coming up. So of course, the Sussex Squad will come up with something amazing to do to celebrate Harry's birthday. And so since Harry's going to be 37, so the Sussex community came up with 37 ways to make a difference. So, and there are all these different ways that you can make it, whether it's donating to worldwide, initiatives, for example, supporting Haiti or Afghanistan, or supporting organization that's to do with mental health, or the environment, or whatever it is. I mean, at the end of this, I'm going to post all of them, and I'm also going to post it in our show notes. We can also support and celebrate Harry's birthday by donating to one of his favorite charities, Senti Bali. We know that Harry did the polo for Senti Bali and raised $3.5 million. And we also, Sussex community came up with a fundraiser. So you can either do the fundraiser, or you can do the 37 ways to make a difference. Whatever you choose. I'm going to talk about it again at the end, ways that you can celebrate Harry's 37. I wonder what he's doing. They were saying that Harry was going to go back to England to christen baby Lily. Whatever. Okay, so moving on with our roundup. What else is happening in our weekend roundup? What else is happening in Royal World? So we're going to go across the pond to those wretched ones across the pond, and Prince Andrew got served. Well, after all this time, since August 9th, that poor Virginia Gifford Roberts have been trying to get this man to serve this man. He's been running away. Finally, on August 27th, he got served. But it was not without some rigmarole. Prince Andrew literally told his security, by the way, which is security made up of Metropolitan Police, who are pretty much at his beck and call. He basically instructed them that they were not allowed to take any documents that's been served for him. For example, those court documents that Virginia and her people in England have been trying to serve to Prince Andrew. So he directed the police, again, Metropolitan Police, round the clock at Prince Andrew's beck and call, taxpayer funded, by the way, and instructed them that they are not allowed to take any documents that serve to him. They're not allowed to take it at the gate of his house. They're not allowed to let anyone in who's trying to serve those documents. When the deponent, the gentleman trying to serve him those court papers, came looking for him, he asked, where he was. The police told him they are not allowed to say. Then the police tried to find Prince Andrew's private secretary who was not available. Oh, really? She wasn't available? And tried to find Prince Andrew. Oh, shock, he's not available either. And so the police took his phone, the gentleman's phone number, and gave him the phone number of Prince Andrew's lawyer. He called the lawyer. Oh, shock, the lawyer never responds. Shock. And so gentleman comes back the next day. Same thing happened. Cannot find Prince Andrew. But the police told him he can leave the document with him, and they will make sure that that court document gets to Prince Andrew's lawyer, which is what happened. So the gentleman filed a report, and there's all this rigmarole trying to get back to Prince Andrew. And wouldn't you know it, Prince Andrew's been running away. But yet, we found out today that Prince Andrew's lawyer is going to contest it. That wasn't served properly. Apparently claiming that it's not really legal or it's not really serving him when he didn't serve Prince Andrew, didn't give the document directly to Prince Andrew. Well, how exactly is he supposed to give the document to Prince Andrew when Prince Andrew is hiding and Prince Andrew's secretary is hiding and Prince Andrew told them not to accept it? Imagine telling someone who is in law enforcement that they are not allowed to take a document, a legal document, that they're not allowed to accept it, that is being served to you who are hiding. Imagine telling that to a cop. So anyways, that's what happened. So on Friday, the 27th of August, they finally served that document and left it with the police, the Metropolitan Police, who then passed it on to Prince Andrew. But anyways, Andrew then runs off back to Balmoral, 500 miles away from Windsor, back to Balmoral, back on the mama skirt, but don't worry, Andrew is perfectly fine. I mean, if we're to believe the Sun, the tabloid Sun, Andrew just, a couple of days ago, I guess, organized a shooting party with the Crown Prince of Bahrain, one who is accused of human rights violation, according to the Sun. And I'm thinking, well, I think one would consider what Prince Andrew did to Virginia, a 17-year-old girl that's sex trafficked. I think that is called also human rights violation. So there's no difference there. Just birds of a feather flocking together while they're out in Balmoral shooting birds and whatever else they're shooting. Oh, well, Andrew is having fun. We're the ones here having a conniption about it. He's having a grand old time, not even thinking about us. Out there shooting birds. Oh, okay. And right up the same day that we found out that Andrew got served this paper, we had Camilla. She has a new patronage in Lagos, Nigeria. Those Black people. She's helping those Black people in Lagos, Nigeria. And her patronage is the Mirabel Center, which is a center, sexual assault referral center. It's, her brother-in-law, sexually assault someone, and she's now the patron of a sexual assault referral center in Africa. Yeah. Yeah. it boggles the mind. You know, and again, you know, Camilla, you know, she works with a domestic violence again, considering that what Camilla did to Princess Diana. I think I think the thing that for me, when I read stuff like this, it's kind of like there is just no self-awareness there. It's like your brother-in-law just, you know, running away from the FBI because he doesn't want to get served. He's accused of sexually assaulting, raping a trafficked teenager. And the same day, you're becoming a patron of a sexual violence center, the Mirabel Center in Lagos, Nigeria. I mean, not only is there Andrew, you know, with his sexual assault, we're also, you know, and we're gonna, you know, including in our Prince Charles corruption, we're gonna talk about Michael Fawcett. Your husband is also, you know, his right-hand person that he can't live without. Basically, Michael Fawcett was also accused of rape twice. Yes, the person that raped was not a woman, it was a man, but rape is rape. And that is the person that you have been advocating for, you know, when they, you know, Michael Fawcett did, you know, a whole bunch of, you know, stealing or whatever it is he did. Camilla is the one that advocated for them to keep him. The same person who raped or who is accused of twice raping the same person. And now she is the patron of a sexual abuse center. I mean, the lack of self-awareness is like, I don't get it. Like, and then there was Prince Charles. Prince Charles was at Dumfries' house. Actually, Prince Charles and Camilla this week were at Dumfries' house unveiling a knit thing. These knit quilt things that they are promoting knitting among people. They were at the same Dumfries' house. Remember we started talking when we have all these exposés coming out about Prince Charles and his cash for access. And I said, you know, keep Dumfries' house in your mind because it's going to get a lot of play. Well, there's Prince Charles this week at Dumfries' house. He doesn't care what you think about Dumfries' house. He doesn't care that Dumfries' house is in the middle of this whole cash for access, you know, mess. He's going to throw it right in your face and he's going to do this, you know, knit thing, quilt thing, you know, for some charity thing. And he's going to invite reporters there because he knows those reporters would never ask him anything. They wouldn't challenge him, apart from some person out, you know, I guess in the neighborhood, whatever, screaming at him that Prince Andrew was a nonce. He knew the reporters were simply there to make Dumfries' house, him and Dumfries' house, look beautiful and distract people from all the things that is going on all the nefarious and unethical things that surrounds Dumfries' house. And he was right. Not one reporter asked him one word about all of these things going on at Dumfries' house. Not one. And it's like, are you serious? I mean, some of them wrote after the fact, you know, including in their article, but you would think some reporter worth salt would ask, like, you know, one, why are we at Dumfries' house when Dumfries' house is in the middle of all this mess? You know, what is the point of doing this here? He has Burkle. He could have done it there. Why Dumfries' house? You know, they're both in Scotland. So it's just, again, British royals. And then you have Kate and William. Oh, they are now promoting and continuing their diversity push for their royal foundation. Apparently they claim that that's their thing, that they are focusing on diversity. This was in this curious article that came out in the Bazaar. Well, I mean, I have one question. When have Kate and William focused on diversity? The last time I checked, do you remember that Sovereign Grant report that came out in June? Well, they were supposed to present a diversity report there. Buckingham Palace presented their diversity report. It didn't look good. I mean, only 8% of, you know, non-white employees, and Clarence House only 8.5%, but, you know, at least they were honest. They put out their diversity report. William and Kate were like, we're not putting it out. They never did. We're still waiting for Kensington Palace diversity report. Nowhere. This curious article from the Bazaar was apparently what Kate and William decided they wanted to do in 2020. And yet in 2021, they refused to put out a diversity report. When have Kate and William focused on diversity? Like, never. Not only did they say, like, they're focusing on diversity, they actually said, the Royal Foundation remains committed to equality and diversity and to ensuring positive, safe, respectful environment which promotes the well-being, dignity of its employees, applicants, partners, suppliers, and those whose interests it represents. Huh? It promotes a respectful place that promotes the well-being of your staff and those that come into contact with you. Meghan Markle's well-being. You remember her? Meghan Markle's well-being. Not only, again, this was put out in 2020. In 2021, you remember a little thing called the Oprah interview, and that basic, Kensington Palace putting out that bogus bullying report, that Meghan did all of those things to their staff, that they, leaked to the Times, to Valentine Lowen, reporter in the Times, with not a single shred of evidence for any of the things they claim Meghan did. And not only that, even before the report, that, Kensington Palace staff leaked all these names against Meghan, Meghan, that's just difficult. The degree wife, the whole bit. And even, not only did they do that in March, when they thought they knew what Meghan and Harry were going to say in the Oprah interview, and in June, when Meghan's book came out, the day that they found out she was going to be doing an interview, they decided to, let's preempt that again with more about the bullying claims, because they didn't know what she was going to say in the interview. And they decided, like, let's jump the gun. Let's stick that bullying claim into her again with Robert Lacey. Robert Lacey was supposed to be a historian, allowed himself to be used by William, added all these chapters to his book that originally came out last year, added all these new chapters specifically from William. William told his friend and basically gave them permission to tell all this stuff to Robert Lacey. Some of which is including, Meghan portrayed herself as a victim, recalled one Kensington Palace staffer. But she was really the bully. People felt run over by her. They didn't know how to handle this woman. They thought she was a complete narcissist and sociopath, basically unhinged, which is why the pair of them were drawn to each other in the first place. Both damaged goods. In 2021, June of 2021, this year, William gave okay for Robert Lacey to write that his palace staff called Meghan and Harry damaged goods, sociopaths, narcissists. He gave the okay for that, wonderful community he was building in his office. That's what he allowed his staff to call Meghan, and he was okay with that. So his idea of fostering a wonderful community was doubting Meghan from the start, not trusting her, that she had an agenda. He also said that he had reservations from her from the beginning. And he also said Kate was wary of her from the beginning. So imagine walking into a situation and that is the environment you have. How positive is that environment going to be? Robert Lacey also said Harry, for his part, was equally furious at William, that William should give credence to the accusation against Meghan. And he was fiercely combative in his wife's defense. Some sources maintain in the heat of the argument, Harry actually accused someone in the royal family of concepts that were racist. So when Harry and Meghan talk about the racism, against baby Archie, someone questioning his skin color, I believe there were more instances of racism. And if Harry is bringing this up in the middle of an argument with William, then I believe that this was William. That William had said something that was racist. Just remember that they wrote that for their foundation in 2020. And this is what Prince William allowed Robert Lacey to write. He had no qualms about Robert Lacey writing all this stuff about Meghan. And so the very idea that William is about diversity and focusing, continuing to focus, like when exactly was William focused on diversity? Ever. On a side note, talking about Robert Lacey, I did not know, and thank you, Lil Rock, and I think if I'm saying this wrong, Lil, can you correct me as to how to say your name, but it's Lehle, Rock. Lil Rock gave me a little bit of tea from the last video we posted. She informed me that Robert Lacey's daughter, Scarlett, was the one who had been writing all those Meghan and Harry movies for a lifetime, including the latest one, Meghan and Harry Escape the Palace, or whatever it's called. That is Robert Lacey's daughter who wrote that. They have this family grift going on. It's kind of like if you know the Arbiters, Victoria and Dickie Arbiter, like he plays the bad cop and she plays the good cop, which she really isn't. But it's the same kind of grift. Now Robert Lacey is playing the bad cop, kind of really dissing Harry and Meghan and, up there promoting William and his nonsense, and his daughter writing love stories about Harry and Meghan. Who knew? Thank you, Lil Rock, for that little tea. I put it all on Twitter and everybody is like, what? I know we're all shocked. We didn't know that. So thank you so much for that bit of tea. Okay, so the final thing to catch up on for our weekend review is, again, Prince Harry's birthday. So we're all going to be celebrating Prince Harry's 37th birthday on the 15th. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for Prince Harry. I wonder what they're doing. I mean, I don't think they're going to make it, public, but I hope whatever it is they're doing, I know it's going to be fun. In the beginning, I mentioned that part of Sussex Squad celebration of Prince Harry's birthday was the fundraiser for one of his favorite charities, Sent to Bali. And just to let you know, it is going well. It has raised over $7,000 already. So if you want to, I'm going to put it in the show notes. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. So if you want to donate, if you want to be part of the fundraiser, great. Go ahead and donate. It's over $7,000. I know that was one of the goals for today, was for, it was $6,000 for a little bit, and they wanted to get over $7,000. So it's over $7,000, and I'm sure it's a lot more over now because, the last time I looked, that's what it was. And also, I also mentioned that all the 37 ways that we can give back, and I mentioned some of the 37 ways. Well, here are some that you can do. You can donate to Afghan refugees, donate to those affected by the earthquake. You can also donate to veterans. You can join a service platoon through The Mission Continues. If you are an honorary discharged veteran looking for help out in the community, you can write a letter to veterans. You can volunteer at a local VA. You can register to volunteer with a non-profit charity. You can provide transportation or assistance to a veteran or hire a veteran. You can do a bunch of different community service, volunteer at a youth center in your community, volunteer at a homeless shelter, donate books, donate items of food banks, and on and on and on. There are 37 ways listed by Sussex Community of, ideas of what you can do to volunteer and honor Harry, because that's really his life. His life is about service, and it's such a great way that we're able to honor him for his birthday. So we are excited to celebrate Harry and Meghan. So anyways, that's it. Once again, guys, thank you all so much for dropping us your 2 cents. I love to read your comments. I love to hear your ideas or your thoughts about what you think about, the different things that we bring up. So keep it coming. And again, if you haven't, please subscribe. Please hit the notification button so that way you know when we drop a video. We are trying to build this community, and I hope that you guys enjoy the video. I love doing them. Pamela loved doing. We love doing it together, and we'll be back together shortly. We just have a bit of scheduling issues with, going back to work, and everything is like I said the last time, like literally 2 ships passing in the night. Our schedules are crazy. So, but we are gonna get back together and be able to bring you more stuff from the Sussexes, and we're excited for when we get to see them again and doing all the wonderful things that we know they're going to be doing. So anyway, thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.